Welcome. I'm just waiting for a few people, so we'll get started in a few minutes. Just a few more minutes before we get started. Today I'm experimenting with streaming on three platforms at the same time. So YouTube Live, Instagram Live, and Facebook Live. So before we get started, I just wanted to say if you need to go grab some props, you probably want to get something comfortable to sit on. So um, a bolster, a block, a blanket folded, cushion, meditation cushion, whatever you need. We're going to be doing some seated practices. Hey, Indigo. All right, just another minute here. We'll get started. And by the way, you can leave. Oh, hey, and hey, comments if you want. If you can't hear me or anything, let me know. So we'll just wait like a minute, then we'll get started. Thank you for joining my grand experiment and what's going to work for streaming. Last week we tried. It was just Zoom. And Zoom has some benefits. I like how interactive it is. You can see other people, which is nice. Um, and there's some cool like audio options on there. I'm gonna play with that more. I think like um, you can share the audio on your computer and then also talk over it. So that way you can sort of like DJ in a very high quality way. So we'll try that maybe. I'm also like today we're not going to use music because there's obviously challenges with licensing and I don't want the video to be taken down. So we'll see what works there too. It's not ideal. And if you go to my Instagram and also on my website, you can find a link to playlists. I have a Spotify playlist that you could try playing in the background if you wanted to. That might work. It's hard to sync it up, and so much for those of you who have taken my classes. It's so much of the experience is about the music. So we'll figure the music part out. But today there'll be no music, and yeah. So people are still joining, but let's come to a comfortable seat, and I'll just say a few words for people who are new to the practice. This is going to be a blend of things. We're going to be doing some grounding practices primarily, but it's a mix of kriya and pranayama and asana, and all of it sort of directed towards dealing with what's going on right now in the world, but also what's going on astrologically, which is pretty intense as well. So there's a lot of that is sort of lined up. So I did want to say too. Well, so first, a few things about the kriyas. If you're new to kriya is just sort of energetic practices that work in different ways with the kundalini energy in the body, and they're typically seated. And we'll be kind of walking through those, but it's going to be some combination of mudra, mantra, that kind of thing. And so, with these kriyas, the longer you do it, the more you experience the benefits. And sometimes it can seem like we're going on for a long time, and so you want to just kind of commit to the kriya. The more you sort of commit to the kriya, the more you experience the benefits. And so that's a huge it's a good reminder, at least as you're new to this practice. And what else? With these online streams, I haven't been offering shavasana during the broadcast. What I'm doing is we're going to close the class at the end, and then I invite you to take your own meditation or shavasana. So, I figure that way we can maximize the time we have together, and you're free to just take shavasana on your own time or meditate. It's a great time to be meditating for sure. So yeah, so astrologically, before we jump into it, there's a lot going on. I'm sure some of you know with Jupiter and Pluto being conjunct, and Saturn and Mars, and it's just bringing in a lot of intensity right now. And so with everything going on in the world and all this intensity, again, I thought it'd be a good time to center ourselves, ground, and start to develop the feeling of almost invincibility. You want to start to develop this very strong staying power as we move into this new reality that we all share. So um so yeah, so let's get started. Just make sure you have something to sit on again. You want to come to a comfortable seat, and you want to sit in a way where as you can see, I've got my setup here with a cushion, a meditation cushion, but just you want to sit in a way where your hips are elevated and you can sit comfortably. You're not using a ton of effort to sit. You're so if you have tight hips, feel free to elevate the hips a lot. You can stack up a bunch of props because we'll be sitting for the first maybe 15 minutes of the practice at least. And and today we'll be doing about an hour, maybe um, a little bit over an hour of practice. So that's the plan. So find your seat, tall spine. Let's close our eyes and take a deep breath in, and exhale through the mouth. Another deep breath in, exhale. We'll open with 3 ohms. So bring the hands to Samastitihi, or to Namaskar in front of the heart. And then inhaling through the nose, we'll om 3 times together. And keeping your eyes closed, lower your hands to your knees. Just take a breath. And notice how you're feeling as we begin this practice. Okay, slowly open your eyes, come into the virtual space. And let's rub our hands together, start to generate some heat. And then place the palms of your hands on your closed eyes just for a moment. Deep breath. And then lower your hands. Okay, so for those who are new to the practice as well, I wanted to just briefly talk about um, bandhas, these locks that we do in some of the practices. So we'll be working with these a little bit throughout the sequence. Mula bandha is the lock we take with the first chakra, the muladhara chakra, and how that works is your root chakra is at the base of your spine. So the root lock, or the mula bandha, is where you draw the perineum up. You kind of contract those muscles and you hold it, and that's mula bandha. And so we'll be working with that quite a bit. The root chakra is the earth element, and it's what we're going to be working with today as we ground through the practice. So that's the root lock, Mula Bandha. And then the other lock we'll be using later in the practice is Jalandhara Bandha, and that's in the throat in the fifth chakra, the Vishuddha chakra. And in that one, you have a tall spine, your neck is long, and then you just bring your chin towards your chest, and you can then lift the back of the head up slightly to lengthen the neck, and that's Jalandhara Bandha. Okay, and so we'll be working with those. Okay, so let's begin by just coming in more fully into the present by doing a yogic four-part breath. And this one, we inhale through the nose, and then we hold the breath. And while we hold the breath, we engage Mula Bandha, so root lock. And then we release the root lock as we exhale through the nose. And then we hold the breath out for about the same amount of time. And again, we engage root lock, Mula Bandha. And then we release that and inhale through the nose. And so it's also called square breath because each part, each side is the same length roughly. So you could count a little bit to yourself if you wanted to, maybe 15 count or something, 10 count. So you're inhaling, holding, exhaling, and holding for the same amount of time on each side. Okay. And the entire time, your attention is at your root chakra as we're engaging it and releasing it. So you're engaging on the breath hold and releasing it as you move the breath. Okay. So we'll be here for a few minutes. Tall spine, close your eyes. Your hands are resting on your thighs. Okay. Inhaling through the nose. Root lock, holding. Exhaling through the nose, releasing the root lock. Engage Mula Bandha, root lock. Hold the breath out. Inhale through the nose. And continue at your own pace. And after this round, Breathing normally. Keep your eyes closed. Take a few breaths. This is a perfect time to turn inwards and to pause. This time we're in right now, that the whole world is in. And it's a time to really understand who you are in this world. And so the more we move our attention and awareness into our body, into our breath, into our emotions, the more we can get in touch with that. So opening your eyes, we'll continue with muladhara awakening. And in this one, we're going to use a mudra. And so um, this mudra is Amitabha mudra. This is a very traditional mudra that's also used in some Buddhist meditation practices. So you're going to take your sort of your index fingers are separate. So your pinky, ring, and middle fingers are laying on top of each other. And then you kind of slide your hands together until your index fingers are able to touch bent like that. And then you bring the thumbs to the tips of your index fingers. And so it kind of looks like that. And we're going to be taking that and resting it in the lap. Okay. So we'll have that mudra resting in the lap. We're going to be working with the bija mantra for the root chakra, Lam. So we'll be chanting this mantra together, Lam, as we have our attention on the root chakra. And here we're grounding and starting to awaken the Kundalini energy. Okay. So we'll start out chanting out loud, and then we'll slowly take it silent and just chant the mantra to ourselves for the last minute or so. Okay. So inhaling through the nose. And we hold the mantra more on the M than on the vowel. Okay. So Lam. 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 Continue chanting the mantra silently to yourself. Lam. And let the mantra fade away. Take your hands to your knees or your thighs. Keep your eyes closed and take a deep breath. The more we work with the root chakra, the more we move from a place of fear towards a place of trust and surrender, the more we develop a sense of coming home, of always being at home, no matter where we are, always being always being safe because we learn that we are invincible. Okay, so we'll start to wake up the prana a little bit more. We're gonna do oh hey. We're gonna do sorry about the Instagram people are sort of like off to the side, so I apologize for that. But we're gonna do this kriya to cleanse and activate. And I'm just gonna move this back a little bit. Okay. So in this one, we're gonna be using a mudra called mitten mudra, where your fingers are together and your thumbs are pointed out. We'll be alternating striking our ribs with our arms. So on the right side, as we strike, I guess I don't know which way. I guess it's flipped around this way, but your right arm is coming down, and you're inhaling through the nose, and then your left arm is coming down, and when it strikes, you're exhaling through the mouth. Okay, so it's like this. Your arms are up at 60 degrees to start. Okay, so let's begin this. Inhale through the nose, and then exhale through the mouth. And let's begin. 30 more seconds. Inhale the arms up. Hold the breath. And exhale the arms down. Okay. You can grind through the pelvis here, start to wake up the spine. With this practice and with a lot of the practices we'll be doing once we start standing, we're working with the prana. We're waking up the prana. We're learning to channel it, to ground it, but also to move it. So, okay. And we'll come into Virata for a few minutes. This one we start to release our anxiety further and develop commitment, endurance. Okay, so in this one, we'll be inhaling the arms out wide, opening the chest slightly, gazing up, and then that's inhale through the nose, exhaling through the mouth as we bring the hands out in front of us, rounding the spine, lowering the head. So it looks like this. Okay, so we'll just be here for a little bit less time than the last one. I know your arms are probably tired, but I know you can do it. Okay, so inhaling. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Flexing, rounding, flexing, rounding. And inhale the arms up, engage root lock. Hold the breath. And exhale the arms down. Deep breath in. Exhale it out. Coming home to ourselves, coming home to ourselves. Okay, we're almost to the moving, standing portion of the practice, but one more seated practice. We're going to practice Alak Niranjan, which is a kriya that works with the energy of Shiva. Some of you can see, let's see, Shiva there. You guys on Instagram, it's in the wrong angle, but yeah, so this is the energy of Shiva. This is another grounding practice, and it helps us to build a strong presence, which is essentially very essential during this time right now. So, okay, so this variation, we're gonna have our hands resting, working with a mantra. So tall spine, comfortable seat. The mantra is Alak Niranjan. Alak Niranjan. And as you say Alak, you take root lock. So you engage Mulabandha, and then you release it as you say Niranjan. Okay. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose, and let's begin. Alak Niranjan, 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 Alak Niranjan. And now inhale, engage root lock, hold the breath. And exhale, release root lock. Once again, inhale, engage root lock, Mulabandha. And exhale. One more time, inhaling, engage root lock. And exhale. Just stay here for a few breaths, noticing how you're feeling. Opening to the way you're feeling in any moment is the most direct path towards truly knowing who you are. The more you practice with me, especially, the more you'll find that so much of what I'm teaching is designed to help you feel your feelings. Because I feel it's one of the most important practices we can have in our lives. Okay, so now we're going to stand up. So move your props out of the way. We'll come to a down dog just to stretch out. Adjust. It's a down dog. And then just walk your feet to the top of the mat. Okay, come to Tadasana. Standing here. Take a breath. I'll make sure everyone is standing first. Okay. Okay. We'll actually start by practicing warrior breaths. We'll continue to work with the prana this way. So, wide stance. You want to have your feet about 45 degrees outward. Okay. And I'm just going to push this back a little bit. Okay. Yeah. So, in this one, we're going to be inhaling in two parts. As we bend from the hips, so our spine is long, bend from the hips, we scoop up prana. We bring our hands into fists next to our hips. That's one part, inhale through the nose. And then we straighten the legs, reach the arms up, gaze up. That's a second inhale through the nose. So it's like, and then we exhale through the mouth as we cross the arms in front of our chest, bring them back to here. And then we sweep our palms out in front of us, again, bending from the hips. Okay. So, warrior breath 2. Okay. Straighten the legs, open the palms to the front, keep the eyes open. Deep breath. Feeling the prana coursing through you, through your whole being. This life force, this life energy that only ever wants to evolve and experience its own bliss nature. Okay, so stay here. We're going to practice Hastabala Kriya. Okay, so the legs are still out in the same position, feet are still out about 45 degrees, give or take. And so in this one, we're going to be pressing our palms together as our hands kind of overlap like that. We're going to be pressing our palms together as hard as we can in front of us as we inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Okay, we'll be here for a couple of minutes. So do your best. If this makes you feel things, that's okay. Frustration, anger, anything. Okay, palms together as hard as you can. Keep going. Press, press. And inhale. Straighten the legs, palms open. Exhale. Deep breaths here. Eyes are open, gazing forward. We're developing immense staying power, immense commitment, immense endurance. Starting to recognize that we're all far more powerful than we can ever imagine. And that's through the practice. Okay, come to the top of your mat. Bring your feet about hip width apart. We're going to practice Shringara, which is a laya movement. It's a meditative movement that helps us to just drop in and integrate the energy we just worked with. So in this one, you're going to imagine you're holding a feather between your index and thumb. And you're going to close your eyes and you're going to form a figure eight. You're going to carve a figure eight in the air. Very slow movements. It can be horizontal, vertical, diagonal. Just moving however you feel. Okay. And lowering your hands, keep your eyes closed, coming into Samastitihi. So just opening the palms towards the front. Okay, let's come back to Tadasana, to Tadasana. And then we're going to inhale, our arms up, and exhale, fold forward. And then step the right foot back, lower the right knee. And we'll just stay here in a kind of modified runner's lunge, dropping into the hip flexor on the right side. Breathing. We're going to go through classical Surya Namaskar, so classical sun salutation. And we're going to do it in a mindful and easeful way, which is going to help us further drop into the body and ground. Okay, so from here, tucking the back toes, stepping back, coming into plank. Let's hold plank for a breath. And then dropping your knees, chest, and chin, coming through Ashtanga Namaskar. Coming up into a low cobra. And then pushing back into downward dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Set the right leg forward, lower the left knee. Stay here for a breath. Okay. And then stepping forward, folding forward, and inhaling all the way up. Hands to Namaskar. And then inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. You'll notice in classical variation, we don't do a lot of the extra in between steps. It's a lot more simple. Okay, so here, step the left foot back, and then keeping that left leg engaged, let's come into easy twist. So grounding through the left hand, twisting out to the right, and then coming back to center. Now lower the left knee, coming into asana, low lunge. For those of you who joined late, we're going to be going a little bit over an hour, so maybe 10 or 15 minutes over the hour. Okay, and then stepping back to plank. You can come to knees, chest, chin again, or you can do your chaturanga vinyasa. Trying to get this camera in the right position. Okay. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Step the left foot forward, ground to the right hand, keep that back leg engaged, right leg, twisting out to the left, easy twist. And then lower the left hand back down, stepping to the top of the mat. Let's inhale, look forward, long spine. Exhaling, fold forward. And then inhale all the way up. And exhale. Hands to namaskar. Okay, inhale the arms up. Exhaling, fold forward. Inhale, look forward. And then step to the back of the mat, come through chaturanga, urdhva mukha, and adho mukha. Downward dog. Inhale the right leg up behind you. Step it forward between the hands. Inhaling up to high lunge, crescent lunge. Left leg is strong and engaged. Right knee is over right ankle. Arms are extending long over your head. Okay. And then actually ground through the left foot. Bringing the heel down. We'll come into warrior one, Vira one. And then clasping the hands behind you. Open the chest. Open the heart. Fold forward. Coming into humble warrior. Keep that right hip in. You don't want it to go out to the side too much. You're still grounded through both feet. Try to keep that right knee over the right ankle. Left leg is strong. Inhaling back up. And exhale the hands down. Stepping back. Coming through chaturanga, urdhva mukha, and adho mukha. Inhale the left leg up behind you. Step it forward between the hands. Oh, sorry. Yeah, between the hands. Coming into crescent lunge. Okay, breath here. And then ground that right foot. Shift the feet if you need to. The hips should be square to the front, so they should be in the same position as high lunge. And then clasp your hands the opposite way. Opening and coming forward. Keep that left hip in. Okay, back up. And exhale the hands down. Chaturanga, urdhva mukha, and adho mukha. Let's lower the knees out to the side. Coming into child's pose. Placing the forehead on the floor. Breathing here. And then lifting the hips, tucking the toes, coming through down dog. Look forward between the hands and then step or jump to the top of the mat. Inhale, look forward, and exhale, fold forward. Inhaling all the way up. Namaskar in front of the heart. Deep breath. Okay, we're going to come back into warrior breath 2. So wide stance, feet out, shifting into the hips here. Okay, 2-part inhale, 2-part exhale. Okay. Straighten the legs, open the palms to the front. Deep breaths, eyes are open. Remembering ourselves here. Okay. So staying in this same stance, we're going to practice muladhara to anahata. So here we're working with the energy of the chakras from the root chakra to the heart chakra. And with that, we're moving from fear towards love. Fear towards love. So love is, especially as the tantras talk about, tantrikas, love is what the whole universe is sort of made of, and what's the motivating force behind everything. Your life force, prana, all that is love, just love. So we're going to move towards that experience instead of just knowing that as a thought. And so here we're going to be inhaling, our hands up towards the heart level, palms open to the sky. We'll engage mula bandha, so root lock. And then we'll turn to the left and exhale as we release mula bandha. And then turn the palms towards the sky as we inhale. Engage mula bandha, turning to the right and exhaling. Engaging mula bandha and exhaling. Moving from fear to love. As you inhale, your hips come up a little bit. And you exhale, they sink back down. Okay, and then coming back to standing, walk your feet back together. Coming to the hips width, your feet are about hip width apart. And so we're going to practice Sufi heart. It's another laya movement here. So we'll take our left and then our right hand to our heart. We're going to have our eyes closed, but you can watch me first. You're going to sweep your right hand out in front of you as your knees bend slightly. Sweeping across. And coming back to center as your left hand then sweeps out. moving from the left shoulder out and back to the heart. Your legs straighten as you come back and then bend slightly, moving as slowly as you feel, breathing however you need to breathe. And one more round. After this round, just keep your hands on your heart. Take a deep breath and know that you are always home. The most radical act of revolution you can engage in is to come back to yourself, expand your consciousness, and develop staying power. It's the first step towards being of service, helping, making a difference. Okay. How's everyone doing? Great. So we'll close with a couple seated practices. So come back, find your props. Come back to a seat. We're going to practice Kali Kriya 4. So imagining, actually the Instagram live stream is going to end. So I'll just restart that in a few seconds. So just sit tall, close your eyes and take a deep breath. Okay, so we'll practice Kali Kriya. This is Kali, as some of you know, Kali is a very fierce goddess in the yoga pantheon, and when we work with her energy, we work with a fierce love, but also an immense strength, transformational strength, and also healing. There's a lot of healing benefits to this. Okay, so in this Kriya, spine tall, we'll have our eyes closed, but you can watch me first. We'll inhale. As we gaze up and chant a mantra, and then we'll exhale as we take Jalandhara Bandha. And so just a refresher from the beginning, Jalandhara Bandha is where you bring your chin, so your spine is tall, your neck is long. You take your chin towards your chest, and then you lift the back of the head slightly to lengthen the spine. That's Jalandhara Bandha. Okay. Okay, so we sit here. Imagine that your spine is like the trunk of a tree. The roots are sinking deep into the earth, and the branches are extending upwards into the cosmos. Okay. So we'll be inhaling through the nose as we start to gaze up, turning our face towards the cosmos. And then we'll hold the breath as we chant the mantra, the Kali. Om Kali Kaye Namaha. It's going to be silent, but I'll do it out loud a few times so we get the bhava, we get the vibration. So we chant that 3 times as we hold the breath at the top. And then we exhale as we lower the chin towards the chest, coming into Jalandhara Bandha. And then we Breathe, take 3 breaths, holding Jalandhara Bandha. So this is going to be almost like a advanced variation of Ujjayi breath. And then we once again inhale and gaze up, chanting the mantra. Okay? So closing, closing your eyes and inhaling, holding the breath. Om Kali Kaye Namaha. Om Kali Kaye Namaha. Om Kali Kaye Namaha. Exhaling, Jalandhara Bandha. 3 deep breaths. And then inhaling once again, turning your face towards the cosmos as you're grounding into the earth at the same time. Om Kali Kaye Namaha. Om Kali Kaye Namaha. Om Kali Kaye Namaha. Exhaling, Jalandhara Bandha. So continue going at your own pace, chanting the mantra silently to yourself 3 times on the inhale as you hold the inhale. Okay, last round here. Coming back to breathing normally, let the mantra fade away. Just keep your eyes closed and notice how you're feeling. Starting to move into a state of surrender and openness. Opening your eyes. So we're going to bow. Bowing is a very powerful practice, actually, and it's obviously devotional and very receptive, taking you into a receptive state. So we're going to do it here by holding Khechari Mudra. So for those of you who don't know, Khechari Mudra is where you just take the tip of your tongue towards the back of your mouth. So it's gently resting on the roof of your mouth near the soft part of the palate. Just gently resting, no pressure. So we'll be holding that as we inhale through the nose. And then we hold the breath and we bow forward. And then coming back up, you exhale. Inhaling again, still holding Khechari Mudra. Holding and bowing. Coming back up, exhaling. And one more time, inhaling. Holding, bowing. And coming back up, exhaling. If you can't come all the way down, it's okay. Just do what you can. Take a breath here. Okay. So we'll close where we began. We'll come back to Amitabha Mudra. So again, this is where you take the middle ring and pinky fingers on top of each other, and then the index fingers come together like this, and you bring the tips of the thumbs to the tips of the index fingers. And we're going to rest that gently in the lap. And we're going to chant an English mantra just for a few rounds here, okay? So the mantra is, you and I in the divine are invincible. So closing your eyes, tall spine, inhale through the nose. You and I in the divine are invincible. 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 You and I in the divine. And then just sit quietly for a minute. You can hold the mudra or you can release the mudra. Okay, we're going to close the practice. Like I said in the beginning, we won't practice Shavasana or meditation together, but I really hope that you, after we close, that you take the time to lie in Shavasana or meditate for at least 10 minutes. Okay, so take your hands to Namaskar. I just want to thank you so much for joining me. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you so much. So I will be back tomorrow, 1 hour later, 10 a.m. California time, 5 p.m. GMT. And I'm accepting donations via Venmo. My Venmo is Woodmo, WOODMO. Thanks again, and I will see you next time. Namaste. Thank you. Love you guys.